Monetize your brand systematically. Start with reverse engineering your competitors. The first thing that you do is look at what everybody else is doing. Look at your competitors. How do you think they make money from their websites? You already have your list of competitors. Visit each and every one of them and look at their ads. Write down your notes and collate them for all your competitors. What do they all have in common? Look up your competition's industry standard monetization model on the list below. AdSense. AdSense is an advertising platform owned and run by Google that pays per click. When AdSense detects text on a page, it will then try to show ads targeting that text. This is called contextual advertising. Advantages. It's fairly easy to get an AdSense account, especially if you live in the United States. Another awesome advantage of AdSense is that they have such a massive network of advertisers that you don't have to worry about finding advertising for whatever content you have. Chances are, there's already an advertiser looking to show their ads on pages that contain your type of content. Disadvantages. While AdSense does pay you per click, depending on the content you have on your pages, you might not get that much money per click. It's not unusual to get a few pennies per click. The rate really depends on where your traffic is coming from and the keywords you are targeting. Another big disadvantage to AdSense is that it is very traffic dependent. If you're just starting out and you don't have much traffic volume, AdSense is probably going to pay you very little money. There are ways around this. You can strategically place your ads. You can also make sure that you're targeting only high-value keywords and try really hard to get mostly American or British traffic. But given all the variability and randomness of AdSense ads, you really are at the mercy of its algorithm. Amazon Affiliate Program. You can place Amazon affiliate product ads all over your web pages. These would show different products. When people click and they buy something from Amazon, you earn a commission that can vary quite a bit. Advantages. Amazon covers a huge number of product categories. It's almost unimaginable that your niche is not going to fit under one of these categories. Accordingly, you can sell physical products related to your niche. This goes a long way in somehow supplementing the content of your niche because not only would people learn how to do certain things or solve problems, but they could actually click on an ad that physically solves their problem. Another key advantage to this program is that usually people do not just buy one product. They often look at other related products to supplement the product that they are buying. If they buy any other type of product, you get a commission on that as well. It's not unusual for website owners to earn hundreds of dollars every month on a very passive basis because the people that they attract to their website end up buying a wide range of products on Amazon. Disadvantages. The big disadvantage to the Amazon affiliate program is that people actually have to buy something for you to make money. Also, sometimes, there is not really a tight fit between your content and products your visitors might be interested in. In that situation, they are less likely to click on Amazon ads. Finally, Amazon is quite stingy on certain types of products. If your niche fits into these low-commission products, you're not going to make as much money from Amazon as you would using other monetization models. CPA program. CPA stands for Cost Per Acquisition. You join an affiliate program and you get a link to products or services offered by businesses who have enrolled in that affiliate program. If you show these ads on your website and when people click on them and buy something, you earn a commission. Advantages. The big advantage to this type of monetization method is the fact that you can select affiliate sponsors based on how much they pay. It can get quite lucrative. For example, there are gold IRA affiliate programs out there that pay thousands of dollars per sale. You can earn a lot of money pushing those programs. Disadvantages. The big disadvantage to these types of programs is that you pretty much take all the risk. You generate traffic, you show the ads. If someone buys, great, you make money. The problem is, prior to that point, you're taking all the risk. Usually, the more expensive the product, the higher the commission, but also the less likely people would buy stuff. Another disadvantage of this type of model is the fact that you are at the mercy of the conversion page of your sponsor. What if they don't know what they're doing? What if they are lazy and just put up a sales page that converts way below its fullest potential? You end up taking the hit, not them. Email of zip code CPA programs. This monetization model pays you money every time people you send from your website to fill out an email form or enter their zip code. These forms can get quite complicated. Some forms ask for a lot of information. Other forms have 2 pages. Generally speaking, the less information the CPA, email, or zip code form requires, the less money you make. The more information it asks for, the more money you make. Advantages. The big advantage of form-based CPA is that people don't have to buy anything. They just have to enter their email address or zip code or fill out a form, and you get paid. Of course, this assumes that these entries are real and not fraudulent. Also, there's a lot of testing going on to make sure that you are not just defrauding the program. Another big advantage to this type of monetization model is the fact that it's very flexible. You can drive traffic from your properties to these forms in a variety of ways as long as it's approved by the program. Disadvantages. The simpler the form and the less fields it has, the less money you make. But thankfully, this is more than offset by the fact that this is a fairly easy way to make 25 cents per email collected or 50 cents per zip code collected. Compare this with making a few cents per click on AdSense. Another big disadvantage is that this type of program favors traffic coming from relatively few countries. If your traffic is mostly American or British, you would do well with this type of program. However, if your traffic comes from developing economies, then these programs are usually not available to you. The ads won't show up at all if you force them to show up and people click through without a proxy. They go to a blind page or a warning page. ClickBank JVZoo programs. ClickBank and JVZoo are affiliate programs that sell mostly digital products like books and software. These programs have made quite a name for themselves because they offer a wide range of digital products you can sell on an affiliate model basis. People usually have to buy something for you to get paid. Advantages. Depending on your niche, these platforms can give you access to a wide range of products your audience members may appreciate. These platforms also work best with a mailing list. If you are converting a lot of your website visitors into list members, show the ads for JVZoo and ClickBank, and they may convert. The great thing about these platforms is that they are never short on product launches. This brings me to another crucial advantage they bring to the table. If you know that a new product is launching on these platforms, you can beat the competition by building a little page or a blog post around the upcoming launch product. Disadvantages. The big disadvantage to this model is that you are penalized for refunds. If somebody buys a product, you get all excited because the statistics page shows that you are going to be getting a commission. Unfortunately, when you check back 2 weeks later, you get discouraged because you find out that that person refunded. Publish your own Kindle books and sell them on your brand websites. Sell books that you yourself wrote or you outsource to places like ozkey.org. The great thing about selling your own books is the fact that you will sell products that are directly related to the content of your websites. There is no guesswork. You're not worrying whether the ads that you are showing will fit the content of your pages. Since you control what you write in your book, you can bet that there is going to be a direct connection. You can even be very aggressive with your website's ads to promote your book. Advantages. You pretty much run the show. You can promote your Kindle book with text links or graphic links. You can hold all sorts of giveaways to get people to buy your book. You give yourself a tremendous amount of options to market your book because you control the playing field. Disadvantages. Please understand that in the context of this method, Kindle is just a distribution platform for your Kindle book. That's all it is. The heavy lifting as far as selling goes is all up to you. You have to make it happen. Nobody is going to help you. Selling your own digital products. Besides Kindle, there are all sorts of digital products you can sell on your website. You can sell templates. These are all downloadable. You can sell graphics or even software. As long as it's digital and downloadable, you can sell it on your site. Advantages. The big advantage that you get selling your own digital products is you get passive income. You create a product once and then you sell it many times over on your website. Who can argue with that? What's not to love? You also control the platform. You can talk about your products all you want. You can create podcasts, videos, pictures, knock yourself out. You are in full control. Finally, you control the conversion mechanisms of this process. I can't emphasize this enough. My biggest complaint about affiliate programs, whether it's Amazon, ClickBank, or elsewhere, is that sometimes the conversion page or landing page doesn't do a good job. I work really hard to drive traffic from my website, but somehow it falls flat. Disadvantages. The key disadvantage with this monetization method is the same as selling your own Kindle books. You must have set up a high converting platform first. If you don't bother to do that first, then chances are your products are not going to sell. Make sure you tighten up your website first and qualify your traffic so everything works out. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting your time. Offer your own dropship store. This is my personal favorite. As awesome as your brand may be, you need some physical products to sell with your brand. You need branded stuff to promote. When you open a dropship store that has your brand and carries products that you talk about on all your websites, you not only make money from each product sale, but you also get to brand your audience members. How many people do you see in any given day walking around with a Nike logo on an article of clothing? How many people do you see walking around in shoes, have a prominent logo? These people are walking billboards. Think along these lines when considering building your own dropship store. This can be a branding goldmine. You worked hard to build an online community around your brand. It really would be sad to see all that effort go up in smoke because you did not take the next step and offer physical products that carry your brand. This monetization model is really something that you should reserve until the very end. This is the key. If you do this early on, your brand may still not be airtight. You may not be qualifying your traffic well enough. There are just so many things that could go wrong. Owning your own dropship store also carries some costs. It's not free. So do yourself a big favor and make sure that your brand is set up properly before you venture into physical products. Mix and match among the different monetization models above and see which works best for your brand. Scale up the ones that are working and get rid of the ones that fall flat. Build a successful niche content creation system. A lot of people believe the mistaken idea that they have to produce content every single day. In their minds, the more content they have, the more Google will index and the more traffic they would get from search engines. Absolutely wrong. It depends on your niche. For example, if you are a publisher of an online newspaper, you have to publish at least once a day. Oftentimes, news is updated several times a day. But if your niche is fairly static, like, let's say, insurance, and you're not offering insurance news, then you should publish once a month at most. The key here is to prioritize quality over quantity. This is how you will dominate your niche. Focus your firepower on one amazing piece of content and spend the rest of your time promoting that awesome piece of content. That's how you build an empire. Again, it depends on your niche, but the takeaway here is quality over quantity. The shortcut. As you probably already know, if you come up with some weird ideas for what's hot in your niche, chances are you'll fall flat on your face. This is almost guaranteed. Unless you're absolutely sure that you have some sort of mental connection with your target audience members, chances are whatever ideas you think are hot are not all that hot to them. This is where reverse engineering comes in. Study your competitors and look at their most successful pieces of content. Look for content they have that has amazing levels of engagement. Start with those topics. Pay attention to those patterns and themes. Collect them, and then start with curation. Your first step must be curation. At this point, you really don't know what works and what doesn't work. At this point, all you know is your niche and your container for your niche. Accordingly, you should get the best pieces of content and populate it on your social media accounts. Market your accounts to try to get engagement for them. Pay attention to click patterns. Which pieces of content get a lot of clicks? Which pieces of content get a lot of engagement? Now, line these up and then see which pieces of content actually gets conversions. I'm talking about sales or mailing list opt-ins here. Once you have seen the results from your curated content, zero in on the specific types of content that generate a lot of the results that you're looking for. Load more successful curated content. Now that you know the theme or type of content that gets a lot of love from your audience members, get more of that stuff. See if the pattern holds. If this is the case, then you're onto something. You can then move on to the discussion below. However, if you notice that the new stuff isn't converting as the old stuff, then you need to keep looking for more patterns. It may well turn out that the initial success of certain niche content may be a fluke. Maybe it's some sort of statistical blip. Given enough time, you should be able to see key patterns as far as the type of content that generates the most engagement, conversions, or clicks. Create your own content based on your most successful curated material. Now that you have a clear idea of the type of curated content that gets the most engagements, conversions, and clicks, the next step is to come up with your own version of that content. You have to remember, when you're curating content, you're just pumping traffic to somebody else's website. It's still benefiting you because you get to use their content to build credibility and authority with your audience members. However, you're not getting actual clicks to your site. The conversions that you get are either ad conversions because you mounted this curated content on your blog, or your social media profiles because you put an affiliate ad on those pages. Still, these third-party pieces of content don't result in traffic to your specific site. When you create your own content based on these successful curated pieces of content, you build traffic to your site. How exactly do you improve on successful curated content? First, you can feature updated content. By simply making sure that your version of your niche's most successful content has the most up-to-date information, you can improve the quality of existing competitor content out there. Next, you can provide multimedia for this type of content. For example, a top 10 list on the best dog houses are big in your niche. Instead of just a text list of key products and what's so awesome about them, show actual videos and pictures. Third, you can use long-form content. What if I told you that search engines actually reward longer pieces of content with more traffic than shorter pieces of content? This should be fairly easy to understand because the longer your content is, the more keywords it has, and the more this can trigger Google to send traffic that targets those keywords. Look at your competitors' most successful content and come up with longer versions of them. Fourth, you can simplify the most successful curated content you can find so that your audience members would find them easier to understand. This can involve diagrams, and this can also involve rewriting the materials in 8th grade English. Do what you have to do to make sure that this material is as accessible to your niche audience as possible. Finally, you can convert your competitors' most successful content into a video. This not only gives you access to YouTube, but it also makes your content more engaging on social media like Facebook, which can turbocharge your traffic results. Create multiple format adaptations of your content. Now that you have created your own content based on the best curated items you've used, the next step is to promote this content on all your social media accounts as well as on your mailing list. In addition to that, you should create multiple format adaptations of your content. For example, you have a blog post. Convert into questions, and then add snippets of content from that blog post along with a shortened link, and then share it on Twitter. Similarly, you can take the questions that your blog post talks about and create question and answer blocks. So basically there's one question, and then you copy and paste a significant answer, and then put original content at the bottom. You then post this on Quora.com. Third, you can create videos, infographics, or just share the plain link on Facebook. Fourth, you can create a video, as I have mentioned earlier, about your blog post and then share it on YouTube and Vimeo. Make sure you use your target keywords for your tags and categories. Finally, you can create an explanatory picture for your blog post and then share it on Pinterest. The picture, of course, links to the blog post. By creating multiple format adaptations of your content and heavily promoting them on your social media accounts, you drive niche targeted traffic from all over the internet to your website. Make sure each piece of content you produce promotes older pieces of content. When you create a new piece of content on your blog or website, create at least 3 links within it that links to older pieces of content you have published. Don't waste this opportunity. If you are able to drag anybody from the internet to view your content, try to turn that one visit into multiple page views. You do this by putting text links as well as graphical links in your blog post. Again, the key here is to maximize dwell time. You get to brand them better, and you also drag them into the deeper and deeper parts of your website, which can increase the chances of conversion. Design your niche content system for maximum conversion. Keep in mind that at this point, your niche brand marketing system has 3 structural parts: your website, social media accounts, and your mailing list. The problem is, if you stop here, you're going to fail. Why? You built a container, but you still have to come up with the content of that container. This is where creating a niche content system comes in. It has to be a system. It can't just be stuff that you come up with randomly to fill out your website. That's not going to work. Key content strategies. Niche specificity builds authority. The first content strategy you're going to focus on is niche specificity. Everything that you include in your blog or your website has to be directly related to your target niche. The more specific you are, the more authoritative and credible your online property becomes. Remember, the people who visit your website are not there to screw around. They're not doing it for their health. It's not like they have nothing else better to do. They're there because they have certain needs. It's your job to meet those needs. Otherwise, you don't develop a brand. Adapt your content to target different platforms. It's really important to make sure that you don't just produce one type of content. When you create content, it must be converted into a format that can be promoted on different platforms. For example, if you have a blog, you can promote the blog's link on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. However, don't stop with blog posts. You can convert that post into a video. Maybe it's a whiteboard with some sort of voiceover and animation. Once you've converted your content into video, you then access Vimeo or YouTube. You can get traffic from those places. You can also look at your content and strip it into small questions and promote on places like Quora. I hope you get the point. You have to start with content that is directly related to your niche, but create different formats of that content so as to widen the places you can distribute that content on. Maximize dwell time. Another key content strategy that you have to totally wrap your mind around involves the concept of dwell time. When you get people to visit your website, try to get them to stay for as long as possible. In other words, try to get them to dwell on your content. How come? First of all, Google's algorithm rewards websites that hold people for a longer period of time. If, for example, your website shows up in search results and a person clicks and takes a long time to get back to Google, Google's algorithm is set up to reward your site and punish websites that people bounce out of immediately. In Google's estimation, the searcher found what he or she was looking for on your website. That's why they stuck around for quite some time. The second advantage of dwell time involves branding. The more you get people to click page after page of your website, the more you brand them. The more you establish in their minds your authority and credibility. This leads to increasing levels of trust. You might even convince them to come back or, better yet, refer other people to your site. Finally, when you maximize dwell time, you walk the reader through the KLT process. This process is generally associated with sales. To get somebody to buy something from you, you must get them to trust you. However, for that trust to happen, they must like the option that you put on the table. Unfortunately, for that to happen, something else has to happen first. They must first feel that you know enough about their problem for them to like the solution that you're pushing. This is the KLT process. Know, like, trust. When you interlink your content in a very thorough way, you basically get the person to cycle through the different pieces of content you have. This gives them a good understanding of your expertise. This builds up enough trust in their minds that there's a good likelihood they may end up on a page that contains ads that would convert them. You increase the chances of this happening if you maximize dwell time. Website strategy. When it comes to housing your content, your website must be optimized for two things: ad placement and text link placement. Ad placement means that your ads must look like a form of content. Their power does not arise from the fact that they disrupt the experience of your viewer. Instead, your ad must add value to the content that the user is consuming. This can increase the likelihood of conversion. Also, your content must be optimized for text link placement. These are text ads. These ads look similar enough to your content. If you pull this off right, the ad would act as a form of content. It isn't intrusive. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, and it actually enhances the value of the content the reader is viewing. Social media accounts. Believe it or not, the social media accounts that you set up outside your blog are part of your niche content system. How come? Well, these accounts are for you to use to distribute your blog or website's content on different social media platforms. Accordingly, each of these accounts must reflect your brand's graphics. This way, when you're sharing content from your main site, there's no major disconnect between the social media account sharing of that content and what users will see when they click through to the link that you are sharing. Mailing list. Your mailing list must be designed from day one to work hand in hand with your main website to do one thing and one thing alone: maximize opt-ins. This is the job of your mailing list. It must be designed from the ground up to vacuum, suck up, or attract as many signups as possible. That is its job. However, this is not going to happen in isolation. This can only take place when the rest of the website is also optimized. One way to put this is you shouldn't look at designing your mailing list element in your website as an afterthought. You must design it on day one.